only job I've ever been super excited to get was my park warden position.
Yep.
And
In Montana's.
Well,
She was
because I'm leaving
brainwashed.
McDonald's.
She was so excited. Everyone gets like that when you leave your first job and you're all excited to get your new job when you're in like high school and stuff or whatever.
And then you go
Like,
back.
and then you go back because you're like, yeah, it didn't work out.
Yeah, I
Awkward.
literally threw on my last shift at the McDonald's in North Bay. I threw my grease-filled non-slip shoes in the
I threw my shoes
dumpster.
out too. Don't need them.
Yeah, and then
Had to
guess
go buy
what?
another
I
pair.
had to buy another pair, and I did not get another $15 off voucher.
Oh, still sad about it. I will never financially recover. As Joe Exotic would
But
say.
honestly, like just learning from those outcomes, I think that creates character, and that teaches you what works, what doesn't work, and there you go.
Oh, for sure. I love fast-paced environments when I'm working and stuff. I love having lots of stuff going on, lots of things to do, getting things done. And working in a restaurant when I was younger was the perfect thing for that, or a faster chain. It was just so like constantly everything everywhere all the time. Being social, talking, you make so many friends because there's so many people. Like it was a great experience in that way. Definitely shaped me into who I am today for sure. But it definitely didn't help me figure out what I wanted to do. And neither did high school, neither did my guidance counselors. No one did. The only person that could have helped me was me, but I never was thinking for myself. I was always taking what other people were doing and be like, that's cool. Oh yeah, like they like that, that's cool. Like I'm not them. Why
Exactly.
why do I care what they're doing?
Yeah, that's right. And I kind of had that idea because when I was so sure that I wanted to be a correctional officer,
Mm-hmm.
that was my career goal for about 4 or 5 years. And
Mm-hmm.
I knew I'm going to be a great correctional officer. I'm going to work my way through the ranks. I'm going to be a warden of a maximum security male penitentiary. And I would tell people that.
I know you
And
told me
they're
that like
like,
50 fucking times.
they're like,
You knew. You
okay,
were like, that's what
shit.
I'm doing.
They're like, fuck. Like, I knew I was going to be a leader, but I didn't know where.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought I knew. And
And you went to the most extreme version you could
of
because you
course,
were
'cause that's who I am.
that's who you were. You're
But
like,
people,
yeah, warden of a fucking prison, bitches.
when I didn't make
Check.
it in corrections,
Mm-hmm.
everybody was like, well, why don't you be a cop? And I'm like, because when I wanted to be a correctional officer, people would say, why don't you want to be a cop? Because I don't want to chase people. I want to keep them in prison. Like, I don't want to, that's not who I am. I'm not chasing someone. And then after I
I'm
didn't
just
make
picturing
it,
you running through a prison after someone's.
help me. But then when I didn't make it, people are like, why don't you be a cop? I'm like, maybe. And I started applying for policing
You
positions.
did.
That was never in my cards for me,
Mm-hmm.
like what I wanted to do, but I did it. And I couldn't tell you why. And that's probably why I
Oh,
didn't get it.
I know, it's crazy. It's actually sad that when I was a little kid, I always wanted to be a teacher when I was really, really little, which suits my personality to a T. Is being someone who like wants to be up there talking, instructing. Like even when I was younger in grade 7 and 8, I was president of the school. I was like running the events. I loved running things like and like being the speaker and up there telling people. I'd have my little board and I had it all written down, all the things people had to do and stuff. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I just love talking to people and explaining to people things. And I'm always one. I'll talk your ear off about things if you want me to, but I'll also sit back and listen. I won't like. It won't be just one or the other. It's always
That's why you were
whatever's
a good
needed.
manager too at
Oh, thank
McDonald's.
you.
You're welcome.
I know. I don't think. I think I try my best for sure. I tried to make sure that everyone knew I was on their team, and I'd always do as much work as they were. I wouldn't just stand around do nothing because I could.
Exactly. Like you would leave there sweating, not like some of the other
Yeah.
managers.
And then at the same time, if people had concerns, everyone knew they could come talk to me about things. But yeah, it was just crazy how I almost knew myself better when I was a kid, and then I didn't when I was in high school, and it fucked me up because I wanted to be a teacher, or I always remember I would sit down in my in my bedroom, in my little chair or on my bed, and like pretend I was talking to people, and I would like write it down, kind of thing, like all the time, like, or I would pretend to be like teaching people things on a little chalkboard when I was like related to my stuffed animals.
Aw, cute.
And then I know, and then I don't know what the fuck happened, and then I realized that I wanted to help people even more than that. And I was like, well, I think I want to be a doctor. My whole family should think I should be a doctor. That's what I'm going to do. And generally think I'd be happy being a doctor, but not the doctor I was being pushed to be. Everyone was pushing me towards like clinical, uh, what is it called? Fuck.
Nursing?
Clinical. No. Well, yeah, actually by the end of it, people were, they're like, well, just go to nursing and then switch over. But I was like, I don't want to be a nurse at all. I know that for sure. Neonatal, sorry, that's what it was.
I'm not sure what
So
that is.
babies.
Okay.
And babies like inside of a pregnant
Oh,
person.
okay.
So all that stuff. And you know what? It's really cool, really interesting, very hard stuff to do. You have to be very smart, a lot of work goes into someone who decides to pursue a career like that. It wasn't the hard work that scared me at all. That's never been a thing. It was the commitment to that, because I knew deep down that I wanted a bigger face, a different platform, a bigger purpose than even that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always struggled to figure out what that was. And I've always been extremely fascinated by like the mind and just a lot of things. And it's been really hard for me to figure out what I wanted to do for a long time. I've literally jumped to every single conclusion of something I could be. I'm like, maybe I could do that. Maybe I could do that, because I wasn't giving in on just taking the step back to think of what would I want to do on a day off. Okay, can we do that being as a career? Like I go over to my aunt and uncles or my family's house or my friends when this isn't, and we just sit and chat and I talk, and I'm always trying to give advice and listen in. And I love hearing about what's going on in people's lives. So why am I not trying to be a therapist?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why am I not trying to be a behavioral analyst, like talking with children? It's like, I just don't, and now I get it, but I didn't. And I don't want to, and everyone else, when I tell people them, they're like, yeah, like, I don't know why you didn't do that. Why you're not that either. So now I have a whole entire school and career change, but it's fine. It's I'd rather do it now and then
it's
regret not
exciting.
doing it. It is exciting, but at the same time, I just wish that I would have let myself just take the time to accept like who I was and all that together. It's almost like when you're younger, you think that things are tunnels, things are one thing. I'm going to school for this and that thing only, and you never see all these branches and things that lead to other things until you're older, or you start creating something. Because when we're creating this, there's so many options to elevate it to, right? So many connections, so many things it can change into, reform to. There's so much to it, but you don't see that when you're in high school or when you're in college or university. You just see like one end result.
Yeah.
So it scares you. It scared me. I could never pick that one. I was like, so you're telling me that I'm going to be a doctor and then that's it? There's just that? I don't want to do that.
Exactly.
A teacher? I'm just going to be a teacher? Like, what? I don't want, that's not, I want more things going on.
Yeah. I know.
So it was just it was just a mess for me, because it actually ruined my life a bit, because I couldn't figure out how to go into something I'm passionate about and let that take me from there. It was all about picking a career, but no one knows exactly what they're going to do exactly. But no one fucking sat me down and said, hey, take a step back. What are the things you love to do, not the thing you want to do? Very helpful. But
right.
I figured it out myself eventually.
Yeah, like it's so insane that that's not a full class in high school, because like
there's
you said, it's
taxes,
kid.
finances,
right,
so much.
Yeah, there's so much they should be teaching, but
the curriculum is messing a lot. But it's because they're pushing everyone towards science, right? They're like, learn how to observe and experiment and take down notes and access information, but they're not teaching people how to do actual daily things as well, because they're expecting parents to teach everyone that. But not everyone gets that fair playing field with that stuff.
But like you said earlier, it is your inner child that you need to kind of go back to. You need to go back to what you enjoyed doing when you were a kid, before society influenced you, before schools influenced you, before everybody saying, oh, you're good at this, you should do this, blah, 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 blah.
Like, do you love is your favorite thing to fucking do, let's say snowmobile, that's your favorite thing in the whole entire world, find out how to make that a career.
Exactly.
Make a blog about it, make a YouTube channel about it, make a save up money and start a store. Start every year, start a charity race where people do like some sort of snowmobile thing, which then gives you traction, and you meet people and connections, and like there's so many, like it's
There's
crazy. You never think
honestly,
of it. There's things you can do, even with that example there, or like Gary Vee says, if you like Smurfs, like you can make $1 million a year having the biggest Smurf Instagram
right.
channel about Smurf fans. Like it's crazy how that's like an extreme example, but the point that he's trying to make is that you just got to start doing the things you love while working your full-time job or whatever else you're doing, and then things will sort out themselves.
Right. And like I think I hate that I not really hate. Sarcastically, like I hate that I'm bringing this back to myself, but I feel like that's what I'm doing right now. I through my mindset work and kind of improving myself as a human being, I have decided that I'm not going to continue to force myself to do things that I don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I quit the job at the bar. I quit the mall. I'm still working at the college because I need money, like
Mm-hmm.
everybody. And it's a good stepping stone if I do want to pursue parks as a career. And I'm going to keep my parks job because I get to be outside and I get to live in the forest and kayak every day, bike every day, hike every day. And that's what I love to do. So taking that and going into what we were talking about, I love hiking. I'm passionate about hiking. That lights me up. That makes me so happy. It doesn't matter sun, rain, anything. I will hike and I will be happy. I could hike the same trail and every day and I would still love it. So I'm going to do that and turn that into a business of something I can do as a living.
Mm-hmm. And
And
that's great.
who
And
knows? Who
some
knows how long it'll
people,
take, but it's going to happen.
and if you decide that you just want to be happier in general and hobby wise, and you love biking or you love this or that, then make it a hobby. Even if it's a hobby, you'll find that you don't care if you work all day and then work all night on this hobby because it's something you love to do. Even incorporate it as that. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have to be a career, but you'll even notice a difference when you start to doing things you love, even if it's after a long shift. You still have energy. You still
Yeah.
have the drive because you're doing something you actually genuinely like to do,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just hope that it pays off eventually. But if it doesn't, then it is paying off because it's helping you
Enjoy your
enjoy
life.
your life and do things that you love to do and write something about you care about. And I know a lot of people don't have like specific passions. Like for me, I was always like, well, what the hell? Like some people are amazing tennis players or they can play the piano like Beethoven. I play the piano, but not like Beethoven at all. Some people are just amazing at these certain artists, like painters and stuff. That's crazy, but there's some people who do not have specific like passions like that. So you got to start thinking of the things that you do for free and the things you do on your spare time and weekends. The things that when you're standing there, you're like, this is a great day. Like, this is fun. And then, okay, maybe going for a walk, you cannot create a job out of that, you think. But maybe then you decide that you want to start doing some walkathon every year for a certain charity and you want to start that, and you do, and you put work into it, and then every year a few more people come, more people come, more people come, and then eventually you have a huge charity run every single summer, and that ends up getting you a job in doing something else, working for another charity or working for this, or you start building connections. There's so many more ways than just making money that help you, building connections, experience, knowledge, all these things I didn't realize were just as valuable or more.
Exactly.
Like,
And
just because someone's rich doesn't make them successful. When the people say the richer get more rich, I
yeah,
believe it's the execution, you actually going all for something. People who become instant famous or instant rich, it's an exception. It's luck. It's not
it's not the
it's
norm.
very rare. It's not the norm.
And
The
like,
norm is people putting so much work into something for years or months, and then it starts to
And yeah, I agree with that for sure. Like, you have to put in the work, but if you're doing something out of the sole purpose of getting money out of it, you're not going to make money out of it.
No.
That's just kind of how the universe
if you
works.
are, then you're never going to be fully
fulfilled
from it.
And like, this is a kind of mindset thing that I haven't really looked into, money mindset. I've heard a little bit about it and learned a little bit about it, but it's all in your mindset of, I'm doing this because I enjoy it and I am getting energy for that. I am getting pure joy from doing this one thing. And if money follows that, great.
Now, money obviously makes things easier.
Yes.
To an extent. And
I'm
it
not
obviously does relieve
job and
it relieves stress. It creates the ability to not worry about that, so you can worry about other things. But at the same time, with money comes problems, so you kind of have to balance it. Like, you have too much money, there's like it can create problems.
Yeah, there's like, it's a whole thing. Money, we could do a whole podcast on
none
money,
of this is like a preach on quit your jobs, like, oh my god, no, not at all. We're just saying, spend your time doing things you love, and hopefully one day it can help you have that as a full-time thing. Or if not, then at least you're spending half your time doing something you really love and the other half doing a job you do love as well. Like, you might love your job, but it's not like your passion, but you love it and you love the people. But then you get to go home and do like spend time with your family and then do your passion on the weekends. Like, that's awesome too.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Like, traveling or different things. Like, for me in the summer, I love biking. I'm not a huge hiker. I will hike. A few hikes in the summer is perfect. But love biking, and I love just laying in the water on a hot day and just, it's just like it's like a watermelon, like things like that. Like, if I could eat watermelon as a career, sign me up.
Look out.